If you are a writer and your dream is to be traditionally published by a publishing house, you likely know that a major milestone in that journey is going to be finding a literary agent. But what you might not know is, what does a literary agent actually do? What does their day-to-day job look like? What are their responsibilities, and how do they work with writers? So today I'm going to uncover and talk you through the 5 key responsibilities of a literary agent and what it looks like to have that job. Now, this is all based on my experience working at a top-tier literary agency based in New York City. They were behind many New York Times bestsellers, and it was really exciting to see how the agents did their job. So today I'm going to share all of that insight with you. Now, if you are in the process of looking for a literary agent, I recommend checking out my video on how to go about searching for a literary agent and how you can actually search the web and figure out who to reach out to. And if this type of content is helpful for you, subscribe to my channel. I offer a lot of tips for writers who are looking to get traditionally published or just strengthen their book manuscripts. So before we dive in, I should also say this is definitely not an exhaustive list. There is a ton of different responsibilities that a literary agent has, and I cannot cover them all today, but these are the main areas of interest, especially for writers. So the first big responsibility of a literary agent is to review query letters that writers submit to them. So if you're in that position right now, sending those queries out, you understand from the writing side what it looks like to submit the query letter, and the agent is going to go through their submissions inbox and review all of those submissions from writers. Agents are always looking for new writers to represent, and they're always excited to see what kinds of projects writers are working on and sign them on as clients if your project aligns with what they're looking for. At least at the agency that I worked at, the submissions inbox was always full, with new queries coming in every day. So this is really an ongoing responsibility that every literary agent is going to have to manage. And part of reviewing the query letters from writers also involves requesting full manuscripts for projects that they are potentially interested in representing, and then reading those manuscripts. So a literary agent's job is lots and lots of reading. Now, as I said before, if you are in the process of querying, I recommend checking out my video on how to make your query letter the most successful as possible, because as I said, many literary agents receive dozens of queries a day, so you really do want to make sure that whenever they are going into their submissions inbox and reviewing queries, yours really stands out. Now, the second area of a literary agent's job that I want to talk about is helping clients revise their manuscripts. This is something you might not know if you haven't worked with a literary agent before, but a literary agent is really going to act as a developmental editor for you. They put a lot of time and dedication into working with clients to strengthen those manuscripts before submitting them to editors at publishing houses, which I'm going to get into a little bit more in depth in the next section. But what you need to know is that your agent is also going to have some type of editorial feedback, most likely, on your manuscript. And you're gonna work together to incorporate that feedback and get the manuscript in the best shape possible so that you're setting yourself up for success whenever the agent reaches out to editors, and you're upping the chances that the editor then makes you a book deal offer. So it is very common actually for you to go through multiple rounds of revision and multiple drafts of that manuscript with your agent just one-on-one before the editors at the publishing houses even see it. This can be really valuable for a couple of reasons. First, it is going to ensure that your story is in tip-top shape for those editors at publishing houses. And then secondly, it really does help you and your agent solidify your working relationship. You are going to have a lot of back and forth, a lot of collaboration, and you really are going to be able to establish that partnership with the agent that is going to last throughout your entire publishing journey. The third responsibility that a literary agent has is to submit their clients' projects to publishing house editors for consideration. So what they're going to do is write a pitch letter very similar to your query letter, with an overview of what the book is about, as well as likely a little bit about you as the writer. And they're going to hand select a group of editors, maybe a couple, maybe up to like 5 or 10 editors that they think would be a really good match at the different publishing houses that they think would be a good fit for your book. And they really know what these editors like. They know what types of books that editor's house publishes. They understand what they're looking for. And so that's how they're going to hand select the editors that are most likely going to be receptive receptive to your book project and be interested in it. And know too that you are going to be fully looped into this process. The agents will often sit down with you and explain, here are the editors I'm going to submit your book to and why. Here's a little bit I know about them. Although you will not be involved in the agent actually having that communication with the editor, you will absolutely know what's going on and who they've submitted to and what responses that the agent has gotten. The fourth responsibility of a literary agent is a really big one. It is to sell your book rights and negotiate contracts on your behalf. The ultimate job of an agent is to sell the rights to their clients' book projects. Now, when we think about rights, what most often comes to mind is the US English rights, just because that's the editions of the books that we're reading, and those are the editions of the books that the publishing houses based in the US focus on primarily. However, there is a whole host of subsidiary rights as well as foreign rights that the agent can also sell to make you extra money and get your book out there in more formats and more places. So this can be a really, really exciting part of the job for an agent. They can sell foreign editions, so written in a foreign language, distributed in a foreign country, audio editions, large print editions, film rights as well is a big, big area. As more and more movies are being made that are based on books or based on stories, the agent really has a lot of power to sell those film rights. And many times the film rights will get sold either before or at the same time that those US English book rights are being sold. And the exciting part about all of these different types of rights that they can sell is that you can end up making quite a large chunk of change on all of these rights. Say that you publish in 20 different countries and you also sell the film rights to your book. That can really lead to a great bit of profit for both you and the agent. So what will happen is when an editor at a publishing house expresses interest in the book project and wants to make an offer, the agent is going to come in and negotiate the terms of that contract. So you will decide at that point if you are only selling those US English rights, or if maybe the publisher is also asking for audio book rights or large print rights. All of that will be hashed out between the agent and the publisher, and the agent is going to be looking to get you the best deal possible. They are going to be your advocate. They are going to try to retain the rights that they think that they can sell to another publisher for a higher amount, and they're going to sell the rights to the publisher if they're making a really good offer and they're giving you great compensation for those rights. Now, I have a video where I go into a lot of the financial terms and the common conditions that you will find in a book deal contract. So I recommend checking that out if you want to dive a little bit deeper. But one thing that I should say is your agent is going to be paid on commission. So you do not pay them anything up front whenever you begin your working relationship. However, whenever they sell any of those rights that I just went through, they are going to get a 15% commission on the sum that the publisher is going to pay you for those rights. That is how they make their money. There's not going to be any other type of payment other than that 15% that the agent asks for. And again, there's nothing upfront that you're going to pay the agent to be working with them. So speaking of money, the last responsibility of a literary agent that I want to share is managing the client's payments. So this is just a bit of a logistical technicality, but all of the funds that are coming from the publisher to pay you are actually going to go directly to the agent, and then the agent is going to take their 15%, and then they're going to send you checks for all of the payments that way. So if you get an advance, which is the lump sum that a publisher pays you upfront for the rights to your book, that is going to go to the agent first. They'll take their 15%, then send you a check. Royalties work the same way. Royalties are payments that you earn if you sell a certain amount of copies, and it's a percentage on the book sales that you negotiate with the publisher. Again, those checks are going to come through the agency as well. So I hope that this general overview gave you better insight into what an agent actually does and what their job responsibilities entail. I hope it also gives you a little bit of clarity on how they're going to work with you and collaborate with you so that you can really have that publishing partnership throughout your journey to getting your book out there on the shelves. Now, I know getting a literary agent can be a confusing process, so please leave me comments below if you have any questions about working with an agent, what that relationship looks like, or even about querying and how to go about getting an agent in the first place. It would also mean a lot to me if you found this video helpful. Hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I will be bringing you new videos every week with tips on how to go about book writing and publishing. Thanks so much for watching, and happy writing!